What's going on, everyone? So, Stephon Castle is expected to be the point guard of the future for the San Antonio Spurs. You saw him even in Summer League, showing his ability to do a little bit of everything, right? His ability to make plays, his ability to score the basketball. Even in college, right? He was a bit of a do-everything guy. Wasn't just a basketball player more than he was like a slotted position. Obviously, for position's sake, he's slotted, but he was a guy that was just very good at just, hey, whatever you need me to do, I will do the dirty work. I'll do the hustle plays, right? Getting big rebounds. Obviously, he could score the basketball, right? This is a guy that really showed that ability, and it's one of the reasons why he was drafted. But played point guard at pretty much every level, and now is going to get the opportunity to do so with the San Antonio Spurs. Question is, how much will he get to do it right out the gate, right? Is he going to, is he even going to start, right? That's a real question. No, are they going to, especially Pop, is he going to kind of let Castle get his legs under him, take his time with growth and development for him? I mean, even Wemby, you saw last year, early in the season, like some games he's playing like 19 minutes. You're like, what is happening here, right? Like, why is this guy not playing? But it's for their betterment, right? And you saw as the season progressed, Wemby got more and more minutes and more opportunity. Because, even this year, as much as the Spurs want to be better, this is in many ways the development growth type of year, bringing in Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, right? Kind of mentors for the young guys. And Stephon Castle, more than anybody, in my opinion, is really going to learn and be shaped and molded by Chris Paul. Now, I think Wemby is going to benefit as far as like on-court production immediately more than anybody else. But Stephon Castle, for his growth, development, and just real understanding and grasp of the game at a point guard position, I just think is he's going to just really gain from Chris Paul. And I mean, look, Castle, Vassell, and Wemby in particular, those three are your locks long-term for just the position of this franchise, right? Those three guys are the guys that you're building through, around, and upon. And Castle is going to be one of the big kind of running mates alongside Victor over the course of their careers. Now, Vassell, I'm curious to see. Obviously, again, right now, he is looked at as a building block. He's one of the guys that they are very reluctant to trade, but how long does that last? If Devin Booker were to become available, would they make a move for that? I don't think that they would trade Castle, but I could see something where maybe Vassell is on his way out. But sticking with kind of just Stephon Castle and his growth and role this season with Chris Paul is, he's going to be the starter. He's going to be the guy. But how much does he play? Right? Like, how do the Spurs kind of approach Chris Paul, I think will give us a real indicator with Stephon Castle. Now, the beauty of Stephon Castle is he can play multiple positions. He doesn't have to just play point guard, right? So if Chris Paul's playing 35 minutes, not saying that they will have him play 35 minutes, but, just for argument's sake for a moment, say, Chris Paul does play 35 minutes and it's like, is Castle only going to play 13 minutes a game? I don't think that that'll be the case. I think, you'll see like Castle a little bit at the 2, a little bit at the 3, right? Like I could see Castle, which is why I wonder if they'll actually start him. My guess is he'll probably come off the bench and, be the first one slotted in based on who ends up getting subbed out. So Chris Paul comes out, I could see Castle maybe getting subbed in. If Vassell comes out, I can see Castle getting subbed in. I do think Keldon Johnson will be immediate backup for like a Harrison Barnes or something. But even at times, I think you can go with Castle because of his size and his length and just his ability. But with Chris Paul, I think obviously the more minutes Chris Paul plays, the fewer minutes there are for Stephon Castle at the point guard position in particular. Right. I also think it depends on how much do the Spurs actually look and want to win right now. Right. Are they like, hey, we need to play Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul, Wemby, Vassell 35 plus minutes a game. Let's try to win as many games as possible. Let's try to, make the playoffs, make the play. Or do they kind of go, like, hey, Chris Paul, we want his longevity. We want him in the court as long as possible. Let's try to cut his minutes to, 25 minutes or 26 minutes a game. Right? Also, what is Chris Paul open to? Right? Is Chris Paul somebody that's like, hey, yeah, like whatever you need from me, it's fine. You want me to play 25 minutes, I'll play 25 minutes. Or is he like, no, like I need to play 30 plus minutes a game, right? Because again, the more minutes that he plays, the fewer opportunity Castle has at that point guard role. But as far as Castle and right now, right, like I don't know if the Spurs will have him have as much responsibility as the playmaker this season, right? I think that they'll give him time. I'm not saying that they won't run him at the point on occasion, but I don't think that he's going to play heavy minutes at the point guard position right now. I think he'll probably spend, like, let's say he plays 25 minutes a game, right? I could see him maybe playing, 8 to 10 minutes at the point guard position, but he's playing, the other, 17 to 50, 15 to 17 minutes at the 2 and 3 guard or 2 and 3 position, right? And again, like there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I think that that's fine, right? You don't want to force the issue, especially if the goal and the plan is to be better, right? If you're just looking to tank and you're just like, hey, let's just, let the young guys kind of go through their hurdles and go through their hiccups, and that's fine. Then yeah, at that point, you should start Stephon Castle as your starting point guard. But if you're like, hey, we want to have this nice balance of wins as well as growth and development, then I think that you should bring Castle off the bench, kind of slot him in different places, different areas, according to what the need is. In certain matchups, I think, maybe he could play a little more. Or obviously a night, Chris Paul takes the night off, right? Well, Castle, hey, you're getting 35 minutes tonight at the point guard position. Like now you have the duties, right? I also want to take your time with Castle, right? You want to keep his confidence. You want to keep his abilities. You want to allow him to really kind of grasp the NBA level and standing, which is why I love the idea of Chris Paul. I mean, look at what Chris Paul was able to do with like SGA. And Stephon Castle really gives you a lot of those similarities, like as far as, like the height, Stephon Castle being 6'6", and can be explosive and move well and kind of cover and play multiple positions. Even if Stephon Castle does evolve into this quality point guard, you can even play him at the 2 alongside another guard, right? You could play Chris Paul and Castle at the same time if you wanted to and needed to. We're evolving into an NBA where point guards aren't really, like, there's very few Chris Paul type point guards anymore. They're all that kind of hybrid point guard, almost more scoring guards, right? You look at SGA, Ja, like all these guys, like they are more kind of the combo, can either play the point or the 2 either way, but they're more looked at like to use their explosiveness to get to the rim, finish in the rim, knock down the mid-range, shoot the occasional 3, all that stuff, kind of be that aggressor, be that attack mode type player. And if Castle can evolve into that, I mean, even if he could just be half of what, an SGA and Ja are, right? Like, that would just go such a long way for the Spurs, particularly alongside Victor Wembanyama. Kind of have, like, that big little game, have that point guard that can just do multiple things, score the basketball as well as set up and make plays, run the basics alongside Wemby, the pick and roll, pick and pops, all that stuff. I'm very excited to see what the future is for Stephon Castle, but I'm curious how much does he actually play the point guard right now? I think they'll just kind of run him as just a basketball player rather than a specific, like, hey, every time you're on the court, you're the point guard. Kind of like, what he was in college. Again, he was, you look at, Connecticut, right? He was whatever they needed him to be, right? UConn had him wherever they needed him to be. Hey, we need you to make some plays? Fine, I can make some plays. Hey, you need me to score the basketball? Fine, I'll score the basketball. Hey, you need me to just rebound and defend? Fine, I'll just rebound and defend. Whatever UConn needed him to be, that's what he was able to do. That's what I think the Spurs will kind of utilize him as. But Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, just kind of use him however you need him this season? He's not really, a point guard. He's not really anything. He's just a basketball player out there expected to play ball. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.